We experienced a food crisis 2 years ago that was triggered in part due to severe weather in Australia and other places. And overnight, we saw food prices double around the world, throwing an additional 150 million people into hunger. Today, 1 billion people will wake up and not be sure if they can fill even this humble cup, which comes from one of our school feeding programs, with food. That means 1 out of every 6 people on Earth today will not be sure how to find even a cup of food. Every study shows, including a new one by the World Food Program, that the impact of climate changes is going to make this challenge more difficult for the world. This is not only a humanitarian challenge, but a peace and stability challenge as well. If people cannot eat, if they are hungry, they have one of 3 choices. They can revolt, they can migrate, or they can die. We need better solutions and action. There are proven things that can make a huge difference, and I would just like to talk about a few of them. Because if the will is there, the people know what to do and to respond. In Mali in 1994, in Timbuktu, the desert was encroaching. If you go there today, the sands of the Timbuktu desert have virtually taken up huge parts of the ancient city. And the villagers decided, rather than just receiving the food aid that WFP was giving them, they'd use that food aid to motivate the whole village to plant 40,000 trees. And if you go there today, those trees guard the rice fields like soldiers protecting their food supply. Today, when I went to Timbuktu, all they wanted to know is if they could have a packing machine to export some rice. They had more food than they needed there. These solutions exist in village after village around the world. If given half a chance, they know what to do. And I will tell you one thing, I've found the solution. Go to a village and get 5 women together and ask them what they'd like to do to protect their land from the changes in the climate hitting them, and they know what to do. So just to back up what John said, if there is an adaptation fund, the world knows what to do, and one size doesn't fit all, but we need to listen very carefully to those at the village level who see the patterns that their great-grandmother and their grandmother and others handed down to them being blown apart. For the first time in memory, planting seasons have changed. The type of food that used to grow in that soil isn't growing. They need help. They need the world to pull together with them to adapt. When I go to these villages, people are not in the victim mode. They're in the action mode. And they need some empowerment to deal with this. As John said, this is not a future threat, it is now. Tomorrow there will be an event with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who worked with the World Food Program over the past years to work in areas of devastated ecology. Long story short, today there's 1 million hectares of land that were totally devastated that are now producing food and keeping 2 million people in food self-sufficiency. But if you go to those villages, it's village empowerment. They decided where the rain catch pools would be, where the terracing would be, with the help of experts empowering them to solve and find the solution.